Terminating, recurring, and rounding decimals. A terminating decimal has a finite, opposite of infinite, that goes on forever. Finite is a number. It stops of decimal places. So 5 over 8 is like saying 5 divide 8, and that gives us the answer of 0.625. If we did it by long division, it would give us that answer. That would be it. That decimal terminates when I turn it into a decimal. Some fractions and decimals recur. So they repeat either the same number or they repeat a pattern of numbers. So 1 over 3, when you divide 1 by 3, or if you put 1 ABC into your calculator using the fraction button, you're going to get 0.3333333 until the end of time. Some calculators will stick a 4 in there. Oh, that one it wouldn't, because it wouldn't round up. But it'll just, we don't need to write that. The way to write that is 0.3 and then place a dot, or we can put a little line. Place over and above the digits to show their start. I've heard that in this fair land of Australia, we tend to put a dot over a single note, but then if you look here, we've got another recurring decimal that's 3412412412412. So the 3 doesn't recur, but the 412 recurs. So I would write 03412, and above that I write a line. And that shows that 412 is going to keep going forever and ever. Amen. So sometimes we have to round decimals. We're asked to round decimals. So we're going to make it have fewer decimal places than it started with. So here's the word, the critical digit and the rounding digit. We were just talking about the importance of terminology. So if I'm going to round to 3 decimal places, I'll write a bit bigger, 12.343, that's where we want to go to. This is our rounding digit, the 3. This number after it, that's the critical digit. So the critical digit comes immediately after the rounding number. If the critical digit is less than 5, is 4 less than 5? Yeah. So I would round, we call it rounding down, but I'm not going to change that 3 to a 2. Because the rounding digit is 3 and the digit after it is less than 5, I just keep it the same. But if I had 12.343 and was followed by a 5 and more numbers than that, what would it round to? 3, 4. The critical digit is going to push that 3 to go 1 higher than that. So that's what we call rounding up. The number after the number you round to is the critical digit. If it's 4 or lower, you keep that rounding digit the same. If it's 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, that pushes that rounding digit up. As it says. So for this one, if we want to round this one to 2 decimal places, 2.37, 7 is my rounding digit, but here my critical digit is a 6. Do I keep that 7, or do I round it up to an 8? If the critical digit is 5 or higher, that means I'm going to take that 7 and increase it by 1 and make it 2.38.